Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Crafters TV. Good to see you. My name's Ben Moseby. Thanks for joining us for our final offering of today. 2 shows in one for your final couple of hours. He's back later on. We've managed to usher him out of the building for just a little while so we can all just get a little bit of a rest. I'm talking about Keith, of course, from Paper Dynamics. He will be back for the second hour of this show. So Craft House will be coming up in an hour's time, where you'll have the opportunity to grab whatever is left of the stock that Keith brought in. We had sellouts in that show. We also had stock hanging on by a thread, but he will take you through everything that he's got left and potentially do another demo. I mean, who knows? 2 demos in that last show. He's becoming quite the crafter, isn't he? Maybe he watches Beautiful Beginnings. Maybe that's what it is. We are here though for the next hour. Bit of tranquility, bit of peace and calm, and for an hour before he blows back in here. Over the next hour we are going to be looking at Ombre Inkpads. We are also going to be looking at the template library, and I'm pleased to say, I mean, I'm always pleased to see this lady, but even more so today, because it just gives me a lovely break for an hour. The lovely Lily Fletcher is here. Thank goodness for you, Lily. Thank goodness.
Can I just say, we're all just going to breathe. It's going to be all right. There's going to be no shouts. There's going to be no hammering on the desk, no throwing things like... It's going to be nice and calm. So if you guys, like Ben, if your ears have had a little bit of a battering throughout the course of the day, I know we had a nice calm craft together, but this is going to be the show for you. It's going to be nice and calm, just to lull you into a little bit of a false sense of security, because coming up in an hour's time, it's not going to be anything like this. So enjoy the peace and quiet while it lasts, quite frankly. And I promise I'll try and stop banging on the desk. I'll try.
It's catching, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
We are going to be looking at template library, Ombre Inkpads, and I hear on the grapevine as well that you're going to be getting me to have a go at something later on.
Of course I am. It wouldn't be a Beautiful Beginnings unless we had Ben crafting. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a Vincent van Gogh. No, we're not going to be chopping our ear off. Don't you worry about that one. Don't you worry. It's going to be all above board. We're going to be doing a background. How cool is that? Starry, Starry Night. That is what not only I'm going to be creating, but Ben's going to be creating as well a little bit later on.
Am I?
You are.
With great success?
Yep. I promise you it's easy. Sam, who sits next to me, who was with me for Craft Together earlier today, he saw this background on my desk this morning. He was like, I want to have a go. And he's had a go, and he can do it. So if he can do it, you can do it.
Hey, as I've said to you now, I feel like, you know, all the training I'm getting from the guys on Craft-alongs and Beautiful Beginnings and whatnot, I feel like I am in that sort of midst between beginner and intermediate. Begin-to-mediate I am. That's the sort of level that I'm at. So I reckon a begin-to-mediate crafter can take that challenge on. I
thought you were going to say then I think I'm in the realm of legends.
Oh, well, I mean, I could say that. I do think I am. No,
yes.
Definitely not.
Close enough.
Superstar Susie's on the socials tonight.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop, whoop. She says 3 days in a row. You must be sick of me by now.
Never.
Jen Shank says good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Amani Stackhouse says hello.
Hello.
Luckyetta Gibson says hello.
Hello.
Teresa Campbell says hello.
Hello.
Janice Mel says hello.
Hello.
Mary Pat 1000 says good morning, everyone, from a sunny Montana.
Ooh, morning.
Corinne Collins says good morning from Bridgeton, Missouri.
Morning.
Hi to Sweet Imp, who says hi all around the globe.
Oh, hi.
And Stephen Nicole says, afternoon, Ben and Lily.
Afternoon.
We can now relax after the cranky crafting.
Cranky crafting.
I'll tell him you said that. Lynn says, hi Ben, Lily, the amazing team, the wonderful social superstar, and everyone. I hope you are all well and enjoying your day. We are. Are we going to start off with the template library? Lily's got a demo up her sleeve here for this. We've had this on quite a lot recently, a brilliant price, and you've got that brilliant price again tonight on the template library. It is the full collection. £184 is your platinum price here. $208 is what you're going to be paying if you're in the US. So of course you have got your free shipping right there. And actually, if you bought any of Keith's papers today, for example, the kind of thing that you're going to be wanting to use alongside your template library. In essence here, and you guys will know, you've seen this before, 120 different projects that you've got across this system. There are dies as well included in your first bundle. You get 30 templates within that, 15 in all of the others. Comes in the box for you as well, so you can keep everything neat and tidy. You know where everything is. If I just pick one at random, let's pick the blue, because I like a bit of blue. How this is going to work is that with each and every set, you have your templates, you also have your recipe guide as well, and it is as simple as choosing which you want to make. So if we go in the recipe cards, for example, here, you can flick through Everything is categorized again for you. So you've got 15 different projects to make in here. You will, of course, get all of your information as far as your words and pictures are concerned in your recipe guide, and you will get a little QR code that you can scan to take you to tuition, digital tuition for you to follow for each and every one of the 120 projects that you've got in here. And what is so lovely about this is you can work with this collection sans machine. You do not need a machine. Whenever Craig shows these, he proper sort of MacGyvers it, doesn't he, really? He's like literally saying, well, you know, if you've got this, all you need is like, you know, something to cut with, pair of scissors, something to score with. You don't need a lot of other stuff alongside this, Lily, do you, once you've got the template library?
Absolutely, and I love the fact that you sort of just can reignite your crafty
Yeah.
mojo. If your mojo is a little bit down, you're not quite sure what to create, maybe you've only got a few hours on an evening and you desperately want to make something, but you're not quite sure what to make. This is a great source of inspiration, a great way of sort of mixing and mashing and mixing up your crafting a little bit, so you're creating different items, whether it's going to be different card folds, it's going to be different gift boxes, gift bag styles. You've got tons of different things you can create. I mean, you could have been crafting for years and years and years. You're still going to find new concepts, new ideas within this system. I mean, 120, there's plenty you can get crafting with.
I think even the most experienced crafter in the world will find concepts that they've not made before. And the point is, it's made nice and easy for you. So if you look at this one, for example, you think, oh, sidestepper rocker card, that looks quite nice. Number 13, all the information there for you. You've got digital tuition for it as well. And you come to your template library here and you flick through and you find number 13, which I think, is it that one there? There it is, number 13, sidestep rocker card. Tells you your sheets of card that you need. Tells you, that's handy as well, so you know your envelope size. Tells you what sort of size it flattens to, and then you've got all of your templates there, all of the embellishments. Even tells you where your mountain fold and valley folds are as well. It's really made simple. These tear out of the booklet for you as well, which makes it nice and easy. And as I say, you don't need a machine. It's a brilliant system. It's a brilliant price for you today as well. It is £184 for the full set. I've just shown you the blue there, but you obviously get all of the collections within that set. 120 items, or 120 projects in here, should I say, for a brilliant, brilliant deal. And we are going to have a little look at one of the 120 with Lily.
Absolutely, and this is just one of the 120 different concepts you've got within that complete library. And don't forget as well, every single time you change up your papers, you change up your cardstock, your decoration, it's going to look absolutely different every single time, which I love. But we've taken one of the fabulous templates. This one is actually from the orange template library. This is number 13, and all I did is I had a little look through the recipe book. I chose the design that I wanted to go for, which is this fabulous square base gift bag, and then I've just taken out the template from the binder. Now, what I love with these templates is the fact that it tells you how much cardstock you're going to need for the mats and layers, for the base itself, and it tells you exactly how large it's going to be when it's actually finished off. Love the fact that as well, for each and every single piece there, it's telling you the size of that particular piece of cardstock you need to cut to size, because what I will quite often do is I'll cut my piece of cardstock exactly to that size, and then I'll just draw around the template from there on in. But we're going to start off with the main part of this template itself, and all we're going to do is we're just going to line up that edge there alongside the top and left hand edges of our cardstock, rather than putting it directly in the middle of our piece of card and having to cut all around the edges. By popping it against those two straight edges of your card, it just means you've got two less edges of cardstock that you need to cut. Then we're going to go in with our pencil. Now, I know some people prefer to use their heat erasable fabric pens, and that will work a treat as well, but good old-fashioned pencil will work perfectly fine too. And all we're doing is we're just making sure we're keeping one hand on that template, just so it's not going to move as we're drawing around the edge here. And we're just going to go around with our pencil, just following alongside all of those lines around the edge. So that's the edge of our cardstock. I can see here that's a cut line, so I'm going to mark that out. And at this top edge here, we have a score line. And what I tend to do with score lines is I'll just pop one marking there on the left-hand side and then just another marking on that right-hand side. That way I know that I need to score between those two lines rather than marking out that whole length and then having to rub it out afterwards with an eraser. Then down here, we've got another score line, so we're going to mark top and bottom. In this section here, we can see it's a mat and layer, so we don't need to mark that out on this base piece. We're going to do that on a separate piece. We've got another score line here that's scoring from the bottom all the way up to the top. Another cut line that we're going to mark all the way down using our pencil. We've got 3 there at the bottom. Another score line there, that we'll just pop our pencil in. And it's just a case of having a little look around and making sure you've got all those score lines and all those cut lines marked out before you remove the template. The beauty of it being a template is if you have missed a couple of score lines, all you can do is just pop your template back over in exactly the same position, and you can just go back in and mark those out accordingly. But we'll remove our template now, and you can see here we've got our design penciled onto our cardstock. You can be using your trimmer or your guillotine if you find it easier to trim the edges, but if you've only got a pair of scissors, then you can still make these templates work with no problem at all. So we'll just take our scissors, and either your 6-inch or your larger scissors are going to work perfectly for cutting straight lines like we've got around the edge there.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to cut up and remove all the waste cardstock around the edge.
I do like it when we do these shows as well, because a lot of people are saying that they've got the template library, but it serves as a reminder, like Carol's just saying, I really need to get my library out and use them. I have them, so why not? And Sweet Imp just saying, I love this library, and the bonus is not having anxiety every month as the complete set is here. And Lynn just saying it's a great resource. If you can afford to get it, it is definitely worth getting because, as I say, 120 projects in here, and it's cards, it's boxes, it's all sorts, Lily, isn't it?
Absolutely, you've got tons and tons, and I love the fact that within each and every single one of those libraries, it's not like one is for boxes, one is for gift bags, one is for cards. So if you are only able to stretch to one or two of them today, you know you're going to have that whole broad spectrum across each one of those. So it's not a case of, oh, I can only get the cards today, but then next week I might be able to get the gift bags, and next week after the gift boxes. You got it all in one.
And it's not like, I always say this as well, it's not like number one is very simple and then it gets sort of like progressively more impressive, if you like. There's a real mixture across each and every library, isn't there? Absolutely.
I love the fact that you've got that variety. So you've got easier projects, you've got more advanced projects, you've got all those different styles within every single one, which just gives you a great variety across them all. Now I'm bringing in my scoreboard here. You don't have to have the large big score that I'm using at this point. You can be using your A4 scoreboards. They'll work a treat still with this template, and it really is a bonus to make sure with any scoreboard you've got in your crafty stash, just marking out that centre line, just using a black permanent marker, or it can be one of your Spectrum Noir alcohol pens, and it just makes it a lot easier. So I can see there I've got that marking that I've popped at the top there, marking I've got there at the bottom, and all I'm doing is just lining that up top and bottom alongside that line that we've already marked out, and I'm just going in and scoring along there. Very, very easy to do when you've got your marking on that scoreboard. So what I'll do is I'll score the diagonal lines at the end, but we're just going to go in with our vertical and our horizontal lines to start with. I find it personally a lot easier to actually cut the template out first and then add my score lines in afterwards, but it is just whatever you find easiest when you're crafting with these. Now all I'm going to do with these bottom sections here where we've got our diagonal score lines is I'm just going to fold that flat back so it makes it a little bit easier to visualise where I've got that marking on my scoreboard there. So just lining that up with that top marking there, and then we're just going to score down on the diagonal. It literally is as easy as that. Then what I tend to do when I'm scoring the next one is I'll keep my scoring tool in position there, and then I'll just pivot that around at the top because I know that's in the right place. If I keep my scoring tool in position, I just fold that back at the top there, and I can see that I need to score upwards, so I'll just keep scoring up to that score line, and then that's going to give you that perfect diagonal score line onto there, just like so. And then you can do exactly the same on the opposite side, so you get that same symmetry. And just to speed it along, same technique that we've used on that left-hand side, we'll repeat on that right-hand side, and it will give you something that looks a little bit like that.
Okay.
The only difference that we've done with this one is we've just taken one of our hole punches, and if you've not got a hole punch in your crafty stash, I'll tell you what works quite nicely. That is our circle punches that came with our flower punches. There's a really small little circle that's going to work a treat in the top there, and just by going in and reinforcing all those score lines just to make sure that it's going to fold together quite nicely, we're just going to go around, and you can use your scoring tool to do this, just to reinforce all those creases that we've got on our gift bag. And you can see when you start to bring that together, even without gluing it, you can see this start to take shape just like so. But to complete that, obviously our base is looking a little bit messy and there's a little bit of a gap in the centre. That is covered by the template as well. You do have your base that's marked on there. So all you're going to do is just take a piece of cardstock, draw around that, and then you've got your base, that square that's going to go on the bottom. Now we do also have some embellishments on this one, as well as all our mats and layers. So I've taken the mats and layers already, and what I've done with this, instead of just having the one mat and layer, that mat and layer that we've got on the template, I've used that one onto some of our pattern paper, and here we've used our Nature's Garden Flora and Fauna for this. And then all I've done is I've just stuck that onto some of the linen card that came with the Flora and Fauna, and then I've just trimmed around the edge about 1/8 of an inch increments around the edge, just to give me an extra mat and layer. So the pattern paper is the template, and then that cardstock is slightly larger than the template, just to give you a few more mats and layers if you like that. So then we've got the pieces that will go onto the front there. You do have the option of actually doing sort of a double aspect, so you're going to decorate the front and the back if you want sort of like a full 360 to this. But what we're going to do before we stick them down is we're going to bring back in the template again. I'm going to take a little scrap of our Flora and Fauna paper pad, and we're just going to use one of these embellishments, just this little gift tag that will finish off our gift bag nicely. So we're going to use this one just to draw around. So I'll pop that onto my cardstock there, and we're just going to use our pencil to just draw around the edge of our tag. Great little embellishment, this standalone. You don't always just have to use this alongside your template library finished piece. Just make sure that's back in position, and then we'll just draw around our little tag just like so, and that'll be a perfect finishing touch for our gift bag. And then we'll just grab our pair of scissors, and all we need to do is just chop around the outside of our little gift tag. Great for stamping your sentiments or writing your message on, or anything like that really.
Colin says, I love the template library, so many wonderful templates to use to make beautiful cards and crafts. One of my favourites. Cindy says, I wonder if Ben is not familiar with FOMO. I know FOMO, fear of missing out. I suffer extreme FOMO where CC is concerned. And Susie says, the template library and the layout collection, two of the best collections I've ever purchased, even as an experienced crafter, and along with the Academy of Colour. I always say that, you look at like sort of gold standard products that we've done here, those are three that always spring to mind for me, and it's been a game changer for a lot of crafters, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I know there's so many people that love the template library as much as we do, and it's become a sort of a staple in their crafty stash, something that they turn to time and time again. Perhaps you're getting a little bit stale on the sort of card shapes that you use. I know personally, I tend to be a bit boring. I tend to go for the same card shape folds, the same sizes. So it's lovely to have that opportunity, that nice and easy way of mixing up your card shapes. And it really does make a massive difference just by changing up the folds of your card bases. So all we're doing here is we're just going in with those mats and layers that we've cut out using that template and the pattern papers, and they just sit perfectly onto the base that we've already cut out here. So just making sure that that's manoeuvred into position onto the base with a nice even border all around the edge, and then that's going to give us that lovely decoration onto our gift bag. I've got one for the right hand side and one for the left, and what I've done is I've actually used the same sheet of cardstock, so can you see that print actually continues across the three pieces, so it's almost like fitting together a jigsaw a little bit, which I think is quite a nice touch, especially when you've got a pattern paper that's almost like a scene like this particular one is. And then we'll have our left hand piece that just goes onto the left. And I know I talk about it quite a lot, but in terms of choosing your colours for your mat and layer, I chose my pattern paper first, and I picked out that lovely pink of that gorgeous flower there, which is why I went for that lovely pink mat and layer. So that's that base there ready to go. But then we'll bring in a few items from that lovely Flora and Fauna collection just to embellish it a little bit more. So what I've done is I've taken the Fly High stamp, and I've just stamped out that lovely little buzzy bee onto some of our white cardstock. And I'll just grab the die just to cut out that stamped image. So grab the die, which will go over the top perfectly, and we'll just take some of our low tack tape, and that will just go over there, making sure I've got a nice even border of white cardstock between the die and the edge of that stamped line. And we'll take that into position with a couple of pieces of our low tack tape just to make sure that he doesn't fly away as he goes through the die cutting machine. And then we'll just run that through, and then we can colour it in. Now, quite often we get asked what's the best order in terms of cutting or stamping or colouring. What I tend to do is I'll tend to stamp first, then I'll cut, then I'll colour. The reason being, if you colour before you cut and then you end up having your die, perhaps it slips as it goes through the machine, or you don't add enough low tack tape to stick it to your cardstock. Obviously, you've wasted all that time of colouring your image, which is a little bit gutting, believe you me, talking from experience. So I always die cut first, and then I know I've got that out of the way, and I can focus on the colouring afterwards. So there's our lovely little die cut bumblebee. So we'll pop that to one side, and we'll just bring in a piece of white cardstock just to place underneath while we do a little bit of colouring. I'm just going to use two of our tri-blend brush for this. So I'm going to take our gold yellow blend, and I'm just going to colour his little fluffy body using our gold yellow blend. So going in with the lightest colour tone at the centre, and then just going into the mid-tone just around the edges. And don't forget, if you have got a little bit of a join between the lighter and the mid-tone, just go back to your lighter colour tone to bridge that gap a little bit more. And then you can go in with that darkest.
This is it, isn't it, as far as the template library is concerned as well? Because Stephen's asking, he says, will they ever increase the templates to add more books to it? Not as far as I know.
No, not as far as I'm aware. I'll be honest, Steve, you've got 120 in there
That's what I was going to say.
Is that not enough for you?
There's a lot to be crafting within there, isn't there?
There is, believe you me. I was thinking the other day, I was wondering how many of them I've actually managed to make, and I'm not quite sure. Definitely not all 120.
Has anyone made all 120?
And if you say yes, we need proof, thank you.
Yeah, we need picture evidence.
Absolutely. I mean, that'd be a great little challenge, that, wouldn't it? Get yourself a little list that you can tick off.
Yeah.
Make them all. Yeah, that'd be fun. Let us know if you do, guys, at home.
Yeah, but as I say, we'll definitely want to see them all lined up next to each other.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Otherwise, we will not accept it as an accomplished challenge.
That's it. But like Lily said as well, you know, if you do want to dip your toe in the water here, you don't have to go for the full collection. We've got all of the individual libraries available on the shop the show. So do have a look if you want to pick and choose.
Absolutely. I love that you've got the options to sort of make it fit for your style of crafting or your budget. At the end of the day, it's a library, so if you're getting a couple today, you can always get more and sort of build that library in the future. I have heard it on the grapevine that we are going to try and keep them in stock indefinitely. So you didn't hear that from me, though, in case anybody else. Anyway, back to the crafting before I get myself into any more trouble. So we'll just start to build this together, very much like we put a card together in terms of layering, but we're just focusing on popping it onto a gift bag instead. So we'll take our little gift tag that we've cut out using that lovely template. We've got a little stamped sentiment that is part of the Flora and Fauna collection.
Oh, yeah.
Just showing how you can use some of your lovely recent collections with your template library. Even if you've had your template library for years and years, perhaps you've only just picked up your Flora and Fauna, it just sort of breathes life into your older crafty goodies. So we've got our sentiment that will go onto our tag about that. And then we've got our little bumblebee that we've already coloured. We'll give his wings a little bit of a shape. And I've just taken that gorgeous little ladybird as well as part of the collection. I thought we'll have a little bit of a scene of all these cute little critters.
Nice to see this collection, actually. I did launch it, I'm sure, but I haven't really seen it a lot since. Forgot it had little ladybirds in it. Yeah,
it's so cute. The ladybird has got to be my favourite part of the collection, I think.
Yeah.
I did the craft along with this a few weeks ago, though, when we got George crafting. He coloured that little bumblebee.
Oh, yeah?
He did, yes, believe it or not. Traumatic experience for him, but he did go out the lines a little bit, but, you know, he's only learning. We can't be too judgmental.
We've all been there.
We have, absolutely. I mean, you're getting crafted in a minute, so you've got to be careful what you say, just in case. You'll be fine. Promise you, you'll be fine. Right, in terms of building this box, it's super, super simple. So, first of all, that tab on the end there, we're going to pop some of our tape onto that tab. And then that just folds alongside that other side of the gift bag. So easy to line up. So make sure that top edge of that front part is lined up against the top edge of the back part there, and then you can just fold that down. Make sure you give it a nice little bit of a burnish just so that glue sort of catches. Then all we need to do is pop adhesive on all 4 of those tabs. So taking our tape pen or your red liner tape is going to work perfectly. If you've got time to wait for it to dry, then your tacky glue is great, but quite frankly, I don't want to be spending the next half an hour holding this gift bag together to get it to dry. My trick is always to stick the base to the glass mat, but there we go, we've got it up with not too much trouble. And then I tend to fold in 2 tabs at a time, and then the opposite 2 tabs, just like so. And then we'll grab our little square of card, and I'll do a Sarah with your double gluing. She always goes on about glue on glue.
Tape to tape.
Tape to tape, that's it. I've been saying it for years and it's kept her in good stead. So, especially given it's a birthday, we'll honour Sarah with a double tape to tape onto there with our little square, and that will line up nicely. And then I tend to just try and find something that will fit into the centre of the gift bag. So I tend to use the end of my pair of scissors just to make sure that that's nicely burnished and it's grabbed with the base, just like so. And then just to finish it off, we've punched our little hole in the top there. So I've grabbed a length of ribbon. Let's see how all fingers and thumbs I can be today. I tend to use actually the end of my poker tool just to help thread that through. Got quite a long length of ribbon here, but we can always cut it down afterwards, and we'll just tie this in a little bow at the top, just like so, just to finish it off. You could, of course, if you've used tags from the template as well, you could be using those to thread through the ribbon as well if you punched a hole into those, but just to finish it off nicely, a little ribbon bow. So just pull that until we're happy with the sizing, and then once we are happy with how that's sitting, we can just trim the edges of our ribbon. So I'll grab my pair of scissors and I'll just trim the edges of there into a little bit of a diagonal, like so, and then we'll do exactly the same on the other side just to finish it off nicely. But how quick and easy is that? Using that fantastic template library, it really does just breathe new life into your crafting, breathe new life into your crafty supplies, and it is so much fun to craft with too.
Fantastic project. Few quick questions coming through.
Ooh, go on.
Cindy Conley says, Lily, will most of these templates work to enlarge by sliding up and extending the lines, or would the proportions be too wonky?
It depends. It depends on which ones they are. My worry with this one is the base. So I'd say it probably a little bit tricky in terms of extending it. Of course, you do have lots of variety in the template library in terms of different gift box shapes and sizes. So some will be larger. I know this one is a little bit smaller, but I think if you made sure both sides were both scaled up,
yeah,
it could work. Give it a go. At the end of the day, what I would say is give it a go with a piece of some of your scrap cardstock. Blimey, me, that nearly came out wrong, didn't it?
Just got away with that.
Your scrap cardstock. I see merging the two words together again. Try it with some of your scrap cardstock, and at the end of the day, if it doesn't turn out right, then it's just your scrap cardstock, so it's not the end of the world.
Question from Stephanie Theodos. Hello, Stephanie. It says, what is the easiest way to tear printed vellum? Do you have to lightly spray it?
Ooh, no. I'd say if you're talking about like one of our 8x8 vellum pads, I would say I wouldn't wet it. For wetting, it's more of a case of what you do for a rice paper. For a vellum, I was going to say crispy. I know it's a bit of a strange thing to say. Rice paper is a lot more fibrous, whereas a vellum does feel quite like cardstock in terms of its properties. But as long as you make sure you hold on to the other side and rip either towards you or away from you, you should be all right. You shouldn't need to wet it at all.
That is really cute, Lily, says Carol, and this is a great question. I don't know whether I want to ask this or not, but I'll ask it, it's fine. Oh. Stephen says, who is easier to teach, Lily, Ben or George?
Well, funny enough, Stephen asked this the other week when George was on.
Yeah.
Stephen, you know what you're doing. So when George was here, the answer is George, but today Ben is here, so the answer is Ben.
Never going to get straight up. You'll never know.
Tell you what else I've brought. Sorry to interrupt.
What the?
So on Craft Together this afternoon, I was talking about my Gemini MIDI plates, because basically Debbie Fisher came into the office the other week and she saw me die cut and she's like, what on earth is that? She was disgusted. I said, oh, don't worry, Debbie, I'll never use these on air. No one will ever see them. And I started talking about them on the earlier show. So I thought, you know what? I will bring it in to show you. One hinge is still there, one hinge is not.
I love it.
I mean, it's opaque at this point, isn't it?
And that still works?
Still works, I still use it. This is the very set of plates that's doing all the boards, so it's still going strong. And I will be using that until basically it shatters, I think. So,
yeah, because even when it splits, you can still use it, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah, you can use it just like you'd use your plates for die cutting machines, so still going. So if anybody's feeling bad about their plates, this still works.
There you go. So now you know you can get a lot more out of your plates than you think you can. Great project. Says Carol. Lynn says fantastic project. Jane says beautiful, Lily. And Susie's made me laugh. Our social superstar says, my sister's just dropped off a latte with an extra shot to get me caffeinated for Keith's next hour. Yeah, he's here in, we've got about 25 minutes or so left on the show, and then we'll have a short little break, and then we'll get Keith in. Just to say, please do come back. No,
please.
Because what we do, when we do these shows, so this show will finish in about 25 minutes, and then this stream ends, so then you'll have to like refresh your page wherever you watch us. So if you think, that's it, that's the end of the shows. No, it isn't. Wherever you're watching us right now, when this show finishes, make sure you refresh and come back, because we've got an hour with Keith in the Craft House. He has promised that he's going to demo again. And of course, if you've missed any of the deals today already, there are some fantastic goodies completely new to what he brought you last week as well, and indeed he has brought back a bestseller from the time before that too, so definitely worth coming back for. Template library on a brilliant price today, £184 platinum, the US price $208, and of course that is your free shipping. Everything on this show plus all of the goodies that Keith has brought to us is there for you on the shop today. And don't forget, if you are shopping today to celebrate Sarah's birthday, yes, we are giving you a free gift. It's a lucky dip, apparently a lucky dip free gift with each and every purchase, so do make sure you are shopping. And talking of shopping, let's give you the opportunity to get your carts and your baskets checked out, and when we come back we are going to be apparently doing our best Vincent van Gogh, so I mean, we'll see you in about 4 minutes.
What I love most about Crafters TV is the community. I feel like I'm crafting along with my friends. And there's so much support, respect, and inspiration all through the socials. Be it on CTV, Facebook, or YouTube, everyone is so supportive and I've learned so much. Most of all is the good times and lots of laughs, which have gotten me through some tough days. So lots of love, my crafty friends, and to the CC team. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
A few weeks ago on the show, we were talking about places where all you guys lived. Well, we might have used Google Earth just to have a bit of a sneaky look at the village, town, or city that you lived in. And I thought it might be quite funny if I wrote a little ditty and I put on my Facebook page, where do y'all live? And I'll put your towns and cities and village into my little song. But I didn't realize that there would be about 425 responses. So I'm gonna cram as many places into this song as I can, but I won't get them all in. We craft everywhere, man. We craft everywhere. From over here to there, man. We craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man. We craft everywhere. We craft in Lydney, Lynbrook, Launceston, Lehana, Tampa, Darlington, Almond Beach, Sedalia, Wills Point, Widnes, Wildwood, Wildham, Archer, Jackwell Lake, Walkerburn, Yate, Bay, Hesperia, Sublimity, Pinhole, Avon, Freeport, Mapleton, San Jose, Enumclaw, Great Bend, Detroit, Keniston. We craft everywhere, man. We craft everywhere. From over here to there, man. We craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man. We craft everywhere. Crafting Parachute, Paradise, Pollux, Papillion, Sheepshead Bay, St. Petersburg, Seacon, Sutton, Saturday, Bristol, Brighton, Brooklyn, Blackwood, Barnsley, Tide Squeeze, South Shields, Tampa Hills and Bentley, Tampa, Pillar, Tucumcari, Cary, Ottawa, Hull, Harrisburg, Lexington, Tupelo, Cincinnati, Austinburg. We craft everywhere, man. We craft everywhere. From over here to there, man. We craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man. We craft everywhere. Crafting Loxahatchee, Lakesville, Lawrence, Lacey, Livermore, Albuquerque, Weeki, Washi, Pensacola, Ellsmere Park, Mechanicsburg, Williamsburg, Rebella, Houston, Burlington, Wet Wang, Market, Drayton, Yale, Medford, Wellington, Wapakoneta, Homer, Sassa, Santa Rosa, Wichita, Honolulu, Riverdale, Melbourne, Commerce, Fentanyl. We craft everywhere, man. We craft everywhere. From over here to there, man. We craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man. We craft everywhere. Crafting Newton Abbey, Richmond, Dudley, Georgetown, East Kilbride, Eugene, Ferrum, Round, Walkerstown, Newarheim, Fort Wayne, Gloucester, Chester, Long Beach, Raphael, St. Dominic's and Cloud City, Augustine Beach, Sand Springs, Romford, Tulsa, Traverse City, Wesley Chapel, Ballarat, Medina, Ramble City. We craft everywhere, man. We craft everywhere. From over here to there, man. We craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man. We craft everywhere. Crafting Sawbrook, Tucson, Kissimmee, Philadelphia, Chicago, Las Vegas, Biloxi, Lafayette, Elmira, Glendale, Scottsdale, Anchorage, and Hurtville, Seattle, Gold Canyon, Ipswich, Cumberland, Unionville, Toledo, Miami, Atlanta, Cleveland, Gold Canyon, Altoona, Calounda, Port Orange, Clover, Rising Sun. We craft everywhere, man. We craft everywhere. From over here to there, man. We craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man. We craft everywhere. And there's a few more places I didn't manage to get into the song. West Runton, Newcastle, Kingswood, Sandbach, Carlisle, Bewley, Albury, Durham, Springfield, Ashington. We crafted Greenville, Lincoln, Nebraska, Sumter, Oak Park, Winchester, Knapp Hill, Stoke-on-Trent, Mount Pocono, Greenville, Charlotte, Oxon Hill, Tunbridge Wells, Modesto, Haverhill, Sierra Vista, Arecibo, Morgantown, O'Fallon, Aurora, Black Forest. We crafted Hermiston, Brownsburg, Henderson, Socorro, Fort Myers, Mandenholm, Hilliard, Farmingdale, East Moline, Summers Point, Calgary, Charleston, Salisbury, Malden, Galloway, Fitchburg, Hopewell, Aberdeen, Winstead, Castlewood, Chatsworth, Limestone, Victoria, Willoughby, Rockland, Canton, Falmouth, Conestoga, Lyndhurst, Ashbourne, and Cluj-Napoca. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back. Can you duct tape the hinges on the MIDI folders, says Trudy? I mean, you could, but you don't need to, do you? That's the point. If your MIDI folder, the hinges break, you can just use them as plates, right?
Yeah,
you wouldn't need to take
absolutely.
them back together again, would you?
Yeah, just like you use your plates through a die cutting machine, they don't, like, those aren't joined together as a folder, so if they do separate, which I'm sure mine's going to very shortly, just use them as they are. You don't need to worry about taping them together.
Yeah, Rhonda says my mini plates are completely apart now, but do work like a champ. No need to tape together. Pat says, hi Ben, Lily, super crew, and all of my lovely crafting friends. A little late to the party. Don't worry, you're here. That's the main thing. And Jane's nightly joke, thank you, Jane, says, hey Ben, what did the right eye say to the left eye?
Oh dear, go on.
Between you and me, something smells.
That's
cool,
good. That's good.
Right, we are going to do some crafting together now, because you'll know whenever I'm on these shows, apparently it's like a preset thing that I have to have a beautiful beginning, apparently. And tonight I'm going to have a beautiful beginning with the Ombre Inkpads. Details coming up on your screen here. So with the Ombre Inkpads, you get the 2 sets of the brand new Ombre, I'd say brand new, the new Ombre Inkpads, and you also get a set of your photograph paper as well. So 5x7 photo paper, 100 sheets. Oh, hello. You're going to get your rich and luxurious here, and then you're also going to get your light and fresh. These are the colours. This is how they come for you as well. Just remind me about these, Lily, because it is a little while since we launched the Ombre Inkpads. What are we going to be using these for? Ombre for the fact that we've got some beautiful colours that are going to work beautifully for us to ombre, I guess, really, to create beautiful backgrounds, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So these are the same sort of configuration as our water reactive ink pads. So they're going to do all those fabulous techniques that we know and love with our water reactive ink pads. The difference with these is we've made them nice and portable, nice and compact. So you've got that lovely portable system that we've harvested them in. And we've colour matched them together as well. So you've got that lovely ombre. So you know that you've got tones that are going to coordinate together perfectly to give you those beautiful ombre style effects. Really easy to work with these as well. They're all sort of magneted into that main housing unit. You just take them out, you've got that lovely teardrop shape, and you are good to go. So a great convenient way of getting lots of different colours of your water reactive ink pads just in one easy, one fell swoop.
Yeah, they're a nice sort of portable size, really. The light and fresh brings you these colours here. So pink tulip, pale fig, ocean blue, all colours that you'll know and love. Oasis, spring meadow, lemon tonic, honey pot, and your sandstorm. And then your rich and luxurious, you've got plum jam, Chinese red, the orange, jet black, smoked emerald, lagoon, midnight, and dams and wine. And then one of the reasons I know you guys absolutely love this collection is that you got the photo paper with this as well. Something that, again, I've never really seen us use a lot in craft, but you're getting 100 sheets here. A lot of people have loved this because it's very, it's very good to craft with. Takes a lot of different inks, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and it just gives you a completely different look and feel in terms of techniques that you can do. So the technique that we'll do in just a few moments' time is a very different effect and a very different technique doing it on your photo paper as compared to like a watercolour cardstock or a regular white cardstock. It gives you the ability to do all those different techniques that we know and love just on a slightly different surface, but you don't just have to use it with your Ombre ink pads. Think of perhaps printing your photos on it. It's photograph paper after all. Great if you've got our jigsaw dies. What I tend to do with those is I'll print my photos onto photo paper, then I'll use my stick and stay to adhere it to the mount board, and then you can cut it using your jigsaw dies. So great for your scrapbooking as well as all your inky techniques.
So all of your ink pads and your photo paper as well, 27.18, 31.92. I am going to be crafting with Lily. You'll see a die cut actually in this particular demo that we are going to do, which you can get in the Artist Accessory Collection, which perhaps I'll show you at the end of the demo, which is stamps, which is dies, and a set of stencils that you get for free within the bundle as well. So we're pretty much ready to go. Love the apron on you, Ben, says Colleen. Thank you so much.
Really does suit you.
I feel like it's the thing now, like I have to wear the apron when we do this. I'm probably not going to get too messy, but I don't trust myself.
Well, yeah, but best be safe rather than sorry, I think.
So what are we going to be doing? What are you going to be teaching me to try and do my beautiful beginning tonight?
Right, so we're going to do a very, I know it looks a little bit more complicated than perhaps it is. We're going to do a very, very simple technique. And this, when I did this last night, I looked at it and I thought, oh my goodness, it looks like Vincent van Gogh's Starry, Starry Night, which is that lovely impasto technique for the sky, but it's all created with one ink pad. So what I've given you, Ben, is I've given you a piece of cardstock just to protect your glass mat to pop underneath. And then we've got our photo paper with our glossy side up. Now with our photo paper, one side's matte and then one side is our lovely glossy photo paper. So photo paper side up. Unfortunately, for some bizarre reason, we only had 2 of the same colour ink pads. So Ben's going in with light and fresh, and I'm going in with my set here, which is the rich and luxurious.
2 bits of photo paper, just in case.
Oh, that's where my other bit went.
Oh, did you? I thought you'd give me 2 because he's probably going to mess one up. So we'll give him a second one. I
was like, I'm sure I cut both down last night. No. So I'm using a bigger piece, but you can have both just in case.
Are you sure?
Just in case, yeah,
okay.
Go on. And we're going to take, so I'm using that dark blue, which I believe is Midnight. I presume yours is ocean blue, I think. So yours will be more of like a starry day. If there's such a thing. It doesn't have the same ring to it, does it quite? So
No.
my piece of card is ever so slightly larger just because I've not cut mine down. I think yours is 4.5 by 5 off the top of my head, but that could be a fib.
It is. It is.
This is riveting telly, isn't it?
It's 5.5. 5.5
5.5.
by 4.5.
Right, well, close enough. There we go. Splitting hairs there, half an inch. Need here to
Let
there.
you off.
Right, so all we're going to do is going to take your ink pad. So taking it in your hand, no ink applicators, no sponges, no daubers, no nothing. And all we do is just take it to our cardstock and we just place it down and move in a circle. I'm not exerting loads of pressure. I'm just placing it down and then just turning it.
Okay.
Literally as easy as that. Do you know what? If that was in brown, that would look a bit like a fossil, you know, I think.
It would.
So I'm sort of focusing my pressure onto that large area rather than onto the teardrop. So I'm trying to keep it quite flat, so I'm not having it at an angle, placing it down and then just literally turning it around. And then all you do is, once you've mastered it, you literally just carry on and do that all over the piece. Of course, you could have them more spaced out.
See, I'm getting more of a teardrop effect on mine, so you're applying more pressure onto the top end, are you?
Onto the top end, yeah. So sort of focus on the top more than the bottom. That's it.
Well, not really.
Wait, all right, don't be so harsh on yourself. Once you start to build it up, let's have a look at Ben. Let's assess his technique. Yeah.
I'm getting more of a trail. How are you getting that? Like you're getting like that sort of effect on yours. I might start again.
I presume that I'm putting more pressure on to start with, and then sort of lightening that pressure towards the end. Do you want to try with my ink pad to see if it helps with the darker ink pad?
I don't know.
It's looking all right.
I know, I'm quite happy with it. It just looks a lot different to what yours is.
It does. Yours is almost like it's smaller, so I don't know if I'm turning my ink pad more times.
Maybe.
I'm probably doing about a quarter of a half turn.
I don't know. I quite like it. It's fine.
I think it looks good.
Are you filling in like all the gaps as well then, are you?
I think pretty much. But I tell you, Sam was on it in terms of his ideas today. He was absolutely on fire. He had an idea because obviously on the Starry Night you've got the stars as well. So if you left a few gaps and then went in with a yellow ink pad, which I might try actually, whether it would give you the effect of stars onto there.
Okay.
It's coming together. It's looking okay. Don't you worry. It just looks different. I think partly as well because obviously I'm using a dark ink pad.
Yeah.
And you're using the light ink pad.
Maybe a little flick. I'm not sure.
I feel like you might be doing a bit too forced. Just a gentle.
Well, no, because I was gentle at first, and then now I've put like more force into it. But it's fine.
It still looks good.
I'm quite liking the technique
Just
on it.
build it up and it'll look good.
Yeah.
I think that's mine done. I think.
Is it?
Part of me wants to add more. Do you know what? I'm going to try this Starry Night business. I might completely mess
What are you
it
doing?
up.
Adding a bit of yellow in, are you?
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to the other set, the light and fresh. But because it's really strange with the photo paper, you expect it's a glossy surface, it would basically never dry or take hours and hours to dry, but it dries pretty much straight away. So that means we can go in with another colour.
What are you going to do? Like dab it in or what?
I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a little look-see. So I'm going to grab this one here, which is lemon tonic, I do believe.
You've got
Let's
lemon
have a
tonic.
look.
I think mine's just orange.
Lemon tonic, I think.
Is it?
Because you've got the light and fresh, I think.
Oh yeah, lemon tonic and honey pot, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. And then the areas where it's lighter, I'm not quite sure whether I like this or not, but it just shows you
Oh
different
no, I've
options.
ruined mine now.
Right, give it a second and then go back over your blue
Yeah.
and see what happens
Well,
there.
actually, I don't know.
Do you know what that could be? You
What?
know yours was going to be the starry day.
That's
the sun.
I've got this. That's exactly what I've done there.
There you go.
Yeah, I might just leave that.
It's night and day,
Night and
quite
day.
literally. Right, I'm not sure whether I like this or not, but it doesn't matter because I've got one that I've already done that's cut down to size. So as soon as this starts going,
Yeah, mine's
wrong, shall
definitely
we
the sun.
say.
That's it.
Definitely the sun, right.
Yeah.
Are you happy with yours?
Well, it will do.
That'll do, right, okay. So, let's pop our lids on our ink pads, otherwise we'll get ink everywhere. And then I'm going to change out to the one that I've already done just because that one's cut down to size, so you can see it's ever so slightly smaller than that full sheet.
Yeah.
And then in your pack, unless I've messed up again in terms of splitting them between the two packs, you should have a piece of white card that's ever so slightly larger.
Yes.
Yep, we'll mat and layer onto that, and then we'll go onto that other black piece,
Okay.
just like that. So you got your tape pen?
Yeah.
You sound really despondent.
No,
He's disappointed. I've not taught him well. I've not done a good job.
No, I don't think I have ruined it. The more I look at it, the more I quite like it, and the more I look at my sort of swirls, I'm growing to like it.
They're just different.
Yeah.
That's the thing with art. After all, everyone's going to look different. Every piece is a unique piece of artwork, isn't it?
That's it.
So you know, we're all different.
I'm very pleased with what's going down here. So it's fine.
Absolutely. It always blows my mind how quickly the ink dries onto glossy paper, and I can't quite get my head around it. It always baffles me a little bit. So it's a shiny surface. That's the one we've just done. It's a shiny surface.
Yeah.
And it's dry. I don't get it, but I love it. So it doesn't matter. So we'll pop that onto our black. And then you should have a card base in there, I think, if I've done me due diligence.
Due diligence.
Get my words out.
Yeah.
Should fit onto there quite nicely. I still can't make my mind up whether I like the one with the yellowing up more or not. Nicola likes it. Jamie seems to quite like it. Okay, we'll take that as a success then.
It's funny, like, you're not really liking what you've done. I didn't really like mine, but I do like mine. So I think you might come round to yours.
Do you know what they say? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it?
That's it. So what does everyone at home think?
As long as somebody likes it, it's all right. And if you guys at home don't like it, don't let us know. We don't want to hear.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Don't answer. Right, there we go. So next up will be die cutting. We'll give... do you know what? While Ben's sticking, let's try
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
I was probably going to end up...
Oh, so you're going to try something. Go on,
Should we try a different colour? Oh. This could be putting a tin lid on it and ruining it, but yeah, a different shade of blue. That's not really doing much.
Can I get a focus, please? This has got bits in it.
Oh my gosh, well, no, that one's not my die.
No.
That'll be on my desk come tomorrow morning, just you wait.
Just you wait.
It'll be there.
I don't actually mind that because I like weeding out dyes. What are you doing now?
I just put a little bit of the turquoise in, but I have to say it didn't add a lot. Try the green. Green. Then it can become...
putting all the colours in now.
Why not? It's becoming like a multicolour rainbow, this, isn't it? Do you know, if you were going for a different effect to the sky, if you're just going for a nice background, it would look quite nice, I think, if you added lots of different colours. But, right, that's enough of that playing about. We'll get on to the die cutting. So we've both got a set of the Let Your Light Shine.
Oh, yeah.
Got a piece of black cardstock. We've cut it, or I've cut it rather, to the same width as our background.
Right.
Then all we're going to do is we'll take our die, we'll pop it onto our card, and then we'll tape it into position.
Can I have a bit of tape?
You can have a bit if you're nice enough.
All I've got in my head now is starry, starry day.
There you go. Let me just grab a piece and you can have the rest.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were just going to give me like a tiny piece in there.
You can only have a tiny bit.
You can only have that.
If you weren't happy with your background, you can only have a tiny bit of tape.
Yeah.
Because you said you didn't like it.
That's it.
Have to be careful what you say. So we've got our black card there, and we'll just run that through. What I've done for us ahead of time is I've cut us another one in white, because of course, true Lily style, we have to do a little drop shadow. So I thought rather than you washing both of us cut it twice, we'll just cut the black and then we can drop shadow with a pre-cut white one. So line my plates up.
This is so cool, says Trudy. Vincent Van Ben.
Vincent Van Ben.
Love this technique, Lee, says Colleen.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, says Conrad. I'm so glad you're showing these, says Gretchen. I needed the reminder of what I can do with the photo paper. Can you flick water at this paper as well, says Louise?
Do you know what? I've not tried it. I don't think, because the ink soaks into the cardstock so quickly, I don't think it will budge, but...
Right.
Let me have a look if we've got a water spritzer to the side of me here. We can give it a go. Yeah, we've got the whopping great big spritzer here. Let's give it a go. I don't think it'll budge, but we may as well try it.
Give it a go.
If the water will come up. Come on. Is it not working? I'm hearing in my ear it's a troublesome one. Let's find another.
Starry, starry night.
Right, let's try it with this one. Oh!
Is it?
This is quite nice. Let me get a piece of cardstock underneath just to protect my black glass mat, so I don't leave Keith with a mucky glass mat. It does. It works.
Oh, there you go. See.
Do you know what? I wouldn't have thought that at all.
It was worth doing, wasn't it?
Well, whoever asked that, thank you ever so much.
I can't
can see that it's starting to merge quite nicely. So if you're not as happy with your background, it's not as sort of swirly as you want it to be, give it a little spritz.
Well, can I give mine a spritz?
Yeah, of course you can.
Can I borrow your spritzer?
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I want to try everything that Lee wants to do. Look, I'm having a beautiful beginning.
He is, and he's loving it. Right, back to my die cutting.
Right.
Have you die cut yours? Are you good to go?
Just one of the lighthouses?
Just one of them, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I've
have you
done
got the little white one in there as well?
Yes.
Right. So we'll drop shadow those together in a minute.
Okay.
Once you've done your little bit of spritzing.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully
Sorry,
you
I'm
don't
just
ruin
weeding
it.
this dye. I find that... Does anyone else find weeding dyes really therapeutic?
No, not when you have to weed as many dyes as I do. You don't.
Maybe it's just because I'm sort of quite new to it.
The novelty. It wears
yeah.
off quite quickly.
Does it?
It does.
So what did you do? Just give it... did you spritz it from a distance or just spritz it...
Just like you would normal.
Just about there?
Not like 10 miles away, but not also like
How many
straight on.
spritzes?
Just, well, it depends. Have a spritz and then have a little look if you want to add more water, is what I would say. My gosh, it's like being in an artist's workshop here. Something like that anyway.
Oh, I quite like that. Let's give that a little... Did
Do
you
you
then
need-
dab it or not? No.
Do you need some, well, we'll need it to dry.
Yeah.
Otherwise we'll be here till next week. I'll get you some kitchen towel. Oh, no, no, not that much.
So give me a tiny bit of
give
tape.
you a bit more than that. Go on, you'll have a whole piece,
Thank you.
yes. I'll use the tiny piece here to wipe mine that. There we go. Right. Then we'll grab the black piece and we'll pop our tape onto the back of that piece. And then we can just drop shadow the white one underneath. Or if you want it the other way around, if you want the white to be the top layer, you can do.
What, are you doing black on the top?
Yeah, I think so, especially to get that contrast. So a bit of tape on the back. How's it looking spritzed? Oh dear.
No, I haven't really, to be honest. I don't think I put enough on because it doesn't look a lot different.
Okay, maybe as well because yours is a little bit paler.
Yeah.
You don't tend to get as much as the difference compared to if you've used a darker ink. But all part of the learning process after all. It's a beautiful beginning.
That's why we're having a beautiful beginning.
Absolutely. Never a truer word spoken.
Thank you.
There we go, right. Bit of tape on the back of that. Because you've got that solid area at the bottom, you can use your solid tape pen at the bottom bit and then just use your dotted tape pen at the top detailed areas.
Yep.
And that will stick onto your photo paper. Now, if you're matting and layering onto the photo paper, I'd recommend something like a tape pen, a red liner tape, or a tacky glue. Just because with it being a coated cardstock, I probably wouldn't go for your all-purpose. So just going to make sure that's nicely burnished into position. James said to me it's very dramatic. It is, isn't it? Mine's was like quite a stormy night. You can imagine the seas sort of quite choppy down on the shore. We've got a little bit of.
Hey.
Oh.
Story day. I'm
Yours
liking
is
mine.
looking good. It's looking good. It's looking different. I like the
is.
sun. And then all we've got to finish it off, we've just got a little sentiment.
Oh yeah.
So I think I've given you some foam tape.
Got a bit of foam tape there.
Bit of foam tape on the back just for a little bit of dimension. If
Love
we had
that.
more time, I probably would have popped foam pads on the back of the actual lighthouse, but needs must. We've stuck it flat just for, because I know Keith is waiting in the wings.
He is. I've seen him.
Oh, is he prowling?
He is loitering with
Oh,
intent.
blimey me, he's ready to start banging on the countertops
I
again.
know.
Dear, oh dear. I'll be able to hear him from by the time I
Pray
get home.
for me.
Well, I will, don't you worry. It's needed. The earthquakes will be felt from the other side of the
Ooh,
town.
decisions.
Oh, see, I've put mine top right, but pop your sentiment wherever you so choose. How easy was that? Cool, something different. I want to see yourself. Come on.
I'm very
Come
pleased.
on, Cher.
I'm very pleased with that.
Do you know what? That looks really good.
Not too shabby, that is it?
I love the fact that we've got like the night and day.
Yeah.
I love the daytime.
Yeah. Now
Thank
who's
you.
the best crafter? Who's easiest to craft with? That me and George.
Well, given it's you here today, you. Stephen, if you ask on Saturday, it'd be a different answer again.
Has George Akid come up with a Vincent van Gogh?
Well, no, he's not. A George Van Gogh?
I'm very happy with that. Thanks for that. I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you're happy in the end because it was a rocky start, shall we say.
I've snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, as
Absolutely,
they
you
say
did.
in the world of sport there. I like both of them, says Cindy Conley. They are just very different. I like the yellow with the blue. I was wondering, can you use metallic pens over the design, says Pat?
Yes, if you've got something like our metallic paint markers that go on different surfaces, then yeah, absolutely go in with those over the top because they dry on things like acetate and glass and wood and all sorts. They'll be fine on your photo papers. That could be a good shout, actually. Another one to try. Thank you, Pat.
Conrad says they're both amazing. Lily, I love your card with the yellow, says Colleen. And Alexandra says, Ben, you've done a great job. Everyone is different and shouldn't be the same. Exactly.
Exactly. It's a piece of art. It's a unique piece of art. Oh, I'm banging again. Sorry, I'm getting you ready already.
Channeling your inner Keith. But this is the point as well, like especially with a technique like that, it's always going to, like if you were to make your card again, it's going to be different. You could never batch make that exactly the same, could you?
Absolutely, because I made that one background last night, then I've made another today. They both look completely different. That's the fun of it. That's the fun of art. It's the fun of crafting. It's what we love. Each one is unique.
Well, there we go. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. Hey, look at that. I just made that. Wow. I know, it's good, that, isn't it? Really? Hey, you've got to do demos of this quality when you come in a minute. He's laughing. When are you next back, Lily?
When am I next back? I'm next back, of course, on Saturday. Who else would it be? Myself and George Van Gogh is back.
George Van Gogh.
I'll have to call him that on Saturday. Yes, we've got Craft Along and, of course, Make It Saturday. When I will be making George craft. Whether he wants it or not, he will be crafting. George Van Gogh will be back.
And Stephen, make sure you ask that question again Saturday and just remind Lily like how great that make was. That's all you need to do. Thank you, Lily. Really enjoyed that.
Thank you very much.
A lot of fun. We are back in, well, about 5 minutes' time. So listen, Beautiful Beginnings ends, but then what you need to do, wherever you're watching in just a few moments' time, you will see the new feed come up for Craft House. It's me and Keith for the final hour of your Wednesday. I do hope you'll come back because we have got deals hanging on by a thread, your opportunity to jump in and grab those, and demos to come as well, plus a lot of laughs. You know it's going to be fun. So we'll be back in 5. Refresh your feed, and Keith and I will see you in about 5 minutes' time. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye for now.